Beautiful souls, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. I am your host, Kimberly Palm. For those of you who don't know me, I am a spiritual teacher, energy healer, and mom, wife, all that fun stuff. Anyways, I'm just here spreading the truth or spreading my truth. I'm not here to put my opinions on you. You get to have your own opinions, your own belief. I am here sharing beautiful guests every week and my own information to help you on your spiritual journey. And whatever you take away from the show, I just ask that it helps you in some way in your life and makes it more beautiful and special. So today I have on my show, I'm so excited, April and Jay Matta of Spiritually Raw. Welcome to the show, April and Jay.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I'm going to read a little about April and Jay because there's so much information about them. Ooh, off the other page here. I did this out a while ago. So April and Jay have I'm sure most of the people on my channel, or not all of them, but a lot of you have seen April and Jay shows at least once, Spiritually Raw, which is available now across on Roku, which is really awesome. They just made it to Roku. They're on all sorts of different places, including YouTube. They're on BitChute and everywhere. But April and Jay are spiritual entrepreneurs and hosts of Spiritually Raw. They're founders of the Ascended Master Store and creators of Spiritually Raw Secrets to Broadcasting Riches Master Course, and Awakening the Power of Your Voice, and Spiritually Raw Secrets to Interview Riches Master Course, 7 Steps to the Grand Slam Interview, even if you have zero experience. So basically on their show, they like to call it the ass whipping truth, which I love that term, by the way. That's like the best term ever, the ass whipping truth. Their sayings are question everything. They expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Over the past 10 years, they've interviewed 1,500 plus people worldwide, searching for truth, exploring the spirit world, and on a global movement to assist with the ascension of our planet. Yay! We collaborate with renowned thought leaders to unlock your intuition, expand your consciousness, and raise your vibration. Anyways, that is a little bit about them. I'm going to actually let them tell you the rest about them. So welcome to the show, April and Jay.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in so long. You know, it's so funny, but the time went by really fast, but it's actually been a very long time. It's actually been several months or more. I've been super busy counseling people all day, every day.
And you're out there.
Yeah. So what have you two been up to? You obviously have gotten a new course. You've gotten a new program, this Ascended Master Store going. You have a lot of, actually, honestly, you guys have so many irons in your fire. You really have a lot of stuff going on. So can you share with everybody your backstory? Because your story is very interesting. You left a really lucrative career in the financial industry, and to do all the spiritual work and go along your spiritual path. So what drove you to leave that successful career? What was your story? You know, what happened?
Well, you know, like a lot of people that are in a career for over 10 years, you have a great run with it. But sometimes you just feel like you're burnt out. You've done all you could do. It ran its course. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot. But we were at a transition point in our life that it was, like you had mentioned, financially speaking, it was great. But at the same time, it was the same monotony every day.
Very mechanical.
Very mechanical. You wake up, you go to work, you put your clothes on, come back, you wake up. You know what I mean? It was like the same thing over and over. And we've always been very spiritually connected, but didn't have really the outlet that we wanted to be able to explore it at a much higher level, because we were having so many experiences and so many unanswered questions. And it was really good timing because we were both ready for a change and burn out, basically.
Wow. So It's kind of interesting because I meet so many people who have a similar type of thing where they had like a corporate kind of a job, or they worked in a specific, like they were a financial planner, or they were an engineer, or they were something where they're using their head, their brain all day. And we all know that 98% of illness, well, I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of people know now that 98% of illness is caused by emotional stress. Even the American Medical Association has said similar. They said 85%, but Bruce Lipton says 98%. He's a, cellular biologist. So do you feel like leaving your career and going on this path that you've started on with all this work you're doing now, how do you feel like in your body physically, like in your life, like how have you seen that change your own life and your own physical, like your own health, like your own wellness and your own health? How has that impacted you guys?
Well, when you leave a career, and like you mentioned, a lot of people that you know of that have gone through that, have to change professions, you get to a pivotal point in your life, and that pivotal point is, okay, I'm going to stay the course, or I'm going to break out and see what the next chapter of our lives are. So we fortunately were blessed to be able to have the insight and the courage to do that. And so really now where it's at as far as how it works for us, I mean, the like having the show, for example, is just this is why we're always talking about everybody should have a show. It is the most therapeutic, healing, emotional stress relief thing that anybody can do for yourself. I mean, I don't care. Sometimes I tell people, I'm like, look, if one person is watching you, it's good. It'll grow from there. Trust me. It'll start like that. But just to have an ability to be able to freely talk like this, because what happens is when you're on a show, you're not just kind of like, okay, well, kind of talking about it. Your energy, you bring it up, you give it all you got. I mean, you're on there, when you're on a show, so your whole vibration steps up to another level. That's that vibration that connects with the universe, Kimberly. That's the art of manifestation right there. So the whole experience of us having a show, being able to write the story as we go, and the manifestation of everything coming on, it has to do because of the show. I don't know, maybe internally, physically, whatever. I mean, I feel like we're digressing, don't you, NH?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I really do. I just feel like a lot better than I did before.
Yeah.
Not only that, too, as your spirituality grows and as you want it to grow even more and accelerate at a faster rate, there's really only one way to do that. And you need to clear your system out.
Yeah.
You need to clear the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, everything. And the best way to do that is from the inside out. So as you start to ascend more and you start connecting the dots more, and you want to start feeling that all the time, you make conscious efforts of what you're now putting in your mouth. Where before I never cared at all. We were like major junk food eaters. And I mean, we would just literally eat
whatever,
anything at any
No
time of
problems.
day, all day long. I've never had a weight issue really. So I didn't, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I'd have to watch what I was eating because my weight was going to be affected. I never really had that issue. Now I'm watching what I'm eating because I want to make sure that I maintain this level of high energy and sustainability all throughout the day.
Wow. So do you guys feel that because I talk about this, well, of course, in my books, and I talk all the time about what we call your life purpose. So do you feel like before, when you were doing the financial industry, that wasn't specifically your like mission or your life purpose, but now you are in your life purpose and you're like living your mission in your life purpose? Do you kind of feel like that?
100%. Like when we were in the insurance business, Jay and I met separately. Like he had an insurance agency, I had an insurance agency. We just happened to both be in the same careers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we actually met. We both lived in Florida, and we met in Texas on an insurance convention. We were both there for an insurance company that we worked for, and that's how we met. So we both had these very similar, almost identical type of lifestyles, and it was great. I mean, I loved the insurance and financial industry. I really, truly loved it. But it was like you always felt like there's got to be more to it. It was it was great, but there's got to be more to life. And then when Jay and I got together and we put our insurance agencies together, our insurance agency was very spiritual. I mean, it was not typical at all. It had Kuan Yin, Buddha, Vishnu, Lakshmi, bears, crystals. I mean, it was very,
Jesus, the Lady of Guadalupe. I mean, they had
yeah,
everything there, right?
yeah, bamboo, lucky bamboo everywhere.
Waterfalls.
Very, very untraditional. So we always had that spiritual spice to it.
Mhm.
And but it just was not. And was it our life's mission? Absolutely not. Was it financially what we needed to get us through those stages in life? 100%.
Yeah, we always said from the get-go with that, we always said like, hey, this is just a stepping stone.
Yeah, it was
to
a great stepping stone.
A great stepping stone. Like I said, it's just very, very, it treated us very, very well. And so it was just what we knew it was a stepping stone. So we were on the lookout for that opening, that window, right? And just making sure once it's somehow, even if we got a glimpse of it, bam, let's get right in there. That's what we did.
Yeah.
We ended up selling it and moved along.
So you guys, since I first met you back almost 2 years ago, and I was on your first show, between then and now, I've watched you guys develop so beautifully, like spiritually, like on your show, just watching your shows, like I've just watched you guys kind of unfold like a butterfly, or like a lotus flower. So tell me, what is your like secrets? Like everybody has a spiritual practice. Okay. Like I have things I do every day. Like I work with my crystals, I meditate, I eat a healthy, diet, I exercise every day, I think positive thoughts. What are some of the things that you guys do that help you? Because April, you look like you're 30 something as well. I mean, you don't look your age. Both of you guys actually both look way younger. And I swear the two of you seem to be age digressing. Like the more I see you, like in every video, you seem to be
ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys seem to be looking younger from the first time I saw you. From the first time I saw you, you guys, I watched, because I used to sell cosmetics many years ago. I sold Mary Kay Avon and I did makeovers on people. I've talked about that in videos and stuff before. But the thing is that I really look at people's skin. Like I'm always looking at their skin and seeing how are they, because the skin tells me a lot about a person's inside and about their thoughts. It tells me a lot about their brain. It tells me a lot about what they're putting inside their body and how they're living their life, like their lifestyle, because the skin shows all of the results of the culmination of all those things, your spiritual beliefs, your attitude, your emotions, your, food that you're eating, all of that. So can you share with everybody, what is like your success plan for how you guys are age digressing, basically?
Thank you. Well, first of all, as you know, we live in Florida. So we are constantly under the sun, right? There's vitamin D all around us. So we are always in the heart of nature, always. We live across the street from the beach. So, we wake up every morning, we go for a run, we go work out. The first thing we do is we get at the very first thing, after obviously do what you got to do. The first thing we're out of the house first thing in the morning, so you're constantly breathing in that salt air, the fresh air. And that in itself, because I grew up in Pennsylvania, which is like the most awful weather. I mean, it's dark, it's gloomy, it gets cold. I mean, it's just awful. Snow, sleet, hail, it's, gloomy. So just that transition in itself makes a tremendous difference. Just like when you go outside and you literally, 365 days out of the year, and you feel that heat, that radiance from the sun, it's that instant healing right from the get-go. So that's number one. And then I would say if you had to put it in a line of level of importance, juicing. And then I would say CBD. So if I had to, go 1, 2, 3, I would say definitely the sunshine, salt air, 100%. But I can tell you, I've noticed the biggest transition in skin tone, brightness, and just your metabolism, your mind clarity from juicing and CBD for sure. They're probably like on the same level. But that in itself, and I mean like not juice that you buy at a store. I'm talking about you put through the juicer it's a lot of
fun
work.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's a nightmare. I mean, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of prep involved in it, but the benefits by far outweigh the agony of doing it, the going to the store and having, the whole prepping of it. There's just nothing like that feeling of being, it's like literally you're getting an injection of vitamin D, vitamin C, antioxidants. Juicing is a critical element to vibrancy and life.
Oh yeah.
So, and the CBD for sure.
So now the CBD, you guys have really gotten into that since I know, because when I first met you, you weren't into that. And at some point you guys got into that. And so did a lot of people like Prime Minister and all these, you know, a lot of people got into it. Isn't the product you guys use is Hemp Life, right?
HempWorks, yeah.
Or HempWorks. I'm sorry, HempWorks. Yeah, because I also have HempWorks and I'm here to testify that it's an amazing product. Now, what it does for me might be different for what it does for you. What it does for me is I've struggled with anxiety my entire life, and it just is like a chill out pill. Like I take that stuff and I just feel calm and like a baby, you know, just really happy and calm. It really affects my mood. You know, it really lifts up my mood, and it really makes me feel calm and peaceful. What I call that piece of Christ consciousness. You know, if you want it in a pill, I would say that is a chill pill, you know, that is that Christ consciousness piece that, you know, makes you like this, your emotions kind of like that, as opposed to woo all over the place. It really, really helps emotional balance. So people who have anxiety disorders and maybe mild depression, whatever, I really think it's a great product. So for all of you guys, if you're interested in that type of thing, you need to connect with April and Jay about that, because I don't sell those products. It's not something I do. I was told by my team a while back not to sell products. There's a product that that I recommend for detoxing, but I don't like go around selling it, like promoting it and selling it. And I just don't do that kind of thing. But I do recommend the CBD that they are doing, because I am signed up with the same company and I buy that for myself all the time. And it really, the HempWorks really, really works. And HempWorks also has a travel, if you are into world travel and you want to see the world, they have a discount travel agency program through there as well, which is really cool. So
just real quick, I've actually been into CBD for many years. And from the beginning, Jay and I have never promoted a product. We, you know, being in sales our whole lives, and when you're good at sales, everybody wants you to sell their products. We've never ever put our name or anything on any product before. But before we got into the HempWorks, I'd been on CBD for years. I'm truly like a connoisseur for CBD. I've tried everything on the market. And the reason why we do put our name behind that particular brand is because of the validity of, I've been through all the other products, and
that's the best stuff out in the market. It really is. There's not even anything that it's not even, everything else seems to be a waste of money compared to it. So we felt an obligation, Kimberly, at that point in time, not so much promote a product, but to be like, holy crap, everybody can feel this good.
I wouldn't say that other products are a waste of money, but what I will say is that the HempWorks gave us the most benefits. We definitely got the most benefits and the quickest results.
She's more eloquent than me when it comes to these things.
Right. Well, the one thing I will tell all of you who are watching is if you do buy a CBD product, whether it's HempWorks or some other product, you really need to research the heck out of it, because a lot of them are tainted with chemicals, pesticides, heavy metals. You need to make sure it's third-party tested. You need to make sure that it's organic and non-GMO. And that is, HempWorks is all of that. HempWorks is a very refined, it's a very pure product. So there's not any contaminants in it. It's not going to kill you or harm you at all. You can give it to your pets. You can give it to babies, even, you know, you can give it to anybody. It's very, it's a very, very healing product. And that particular company does a really good job to filter everything and make sure that it's a really pure product, because there's so much in the CBD industry that's just garbage. Some of it's from China, some of it's you know, it's just tainted with a lot of heavy metals, a lot of toxicity and stuff like that. So make sure that no matter what CBD you are doing, whether it's HempWorks or some other type of CBD. I don't care what one you do, make sure that you have fully researched that thing before you put it in your mouth or on your body, even on your skin, because your skin is your largest organ in your body, and it absorbs whatever you put on your skin goes to every single organ in your body. So if you're using over-the-counter facial skincare products from the grocery store, they're full of all kinds of toxins. You need to use
Oh, yeah.
organic, vegan kind of stuff, or it doesn't have to be vegan, but at least needs to be organic and free of
Sure.
pesticides, free of chemicals, free of heavy metals when you're putting it on your skin. So this company, HempWorks, they are what I want to call the cream of the crop with making sure that their product is a purified product that doesn't have all that garbage in it, because I researched it before I started taking it. I spent a lot of time researching CBD before I ever put it. And I want you to know, I tried like 5 or 6 brands at least, maybe more than that, probably closer to 10 brands of CBD oil. And the one that I like the best is the HempWorks. So yeah. So I wanted to talk about that. Now, you guys, your show Spiritually Raw has become so popular over the last few years. So what motivated you to get that show started? What was your motivation for that? And what is the philosophy of that show?
The motivation was just our own personal search, really. It was more about, as we left the financial services, then going on to the next life, our being in financial services, you interview people for a living. That's what you do. You're interviewing,
Right.
you're constantly doing that. So that's our trade. That's our background, right? So we figured, okay, well, we're on this spiritual journey. What's the best way for us to learn this and learn this very, very quickly? Because we're not going to read books, at least I'm not, you know what I mean? Or all these things and watch all these things, is to be able to interview the experts, and really just learn from their experience that are already tapped and tuned in and get that. So we started interviewing them, and that interview turned into a show. And that next thing, the show turns into something called Spiritually Raw. And here we are today. So it kind of just organically evolved like that. The philosophy of the show is that, it's really, thanks for that. I appreciate that. The philosophy of the show is really that there's really a sprinkle of truth of everything being said. So who are we, seriously, to really discard these messages? So for us, we have such a, and the guests on here, I mean, we have, it's all over the place, right? So
I'm friends with several of them.
So, it's everybody, unless they're hurting the innocent or harming anybody from that perspective, their message, everybody's really welcome to share their message, because it's so important for us to know. I think all we've got is someone else's, our sisters and brothers, journeys in life to help us along the way. So it's so important for us to know what someone's journey is, what they're going through, I should say. So, we can learn from that, take a little bit out of that. And then you take a little bit out of that from everybody. And then that helps hopefully give everybody a better existence. So that's really the foundation of it, and also really the philosophy of it too.
Right. So I want to point something out about you guys, because I haven't spoke to you in a while, and we're going to do this on video. So I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, actually, about the fact that, and I'm not going to put you on a hot seat or anything like that, but I'm going to point something out. So we were talking about the fact that she feels like she has to keep waking people up, like she has to keep sharing the truth. And she said all these light workers keep yelling at her and saying, stop, you need to stop. They need to wake themselves up, and they're lost. They're already lost. It's too late. All this kind of stuff. And I told her, nope, that's not true. So what I learned on a psychic level from my team is they told me months ago that I needed to stop trying to wake up, like my family, for example, or whatever. I had to stop that. But there are people out there who that is their task, and that's what they're supposed to do. So Nicholas Benyamin, you guys, Michael Jaco, I'm trying to think who else, Salini, you and I both know a lot of the people, who I'm talking about, but there's specific people that are out there, negative, 48 or 20, whatever his name. Yeah. Those kind of people. Their job, their mission, their current life mission, because we could have several missions in our life, their current life purpose or mission is to get the truth out there and to wake people up. That is their purpose. But there's a lot of us who we need to, like some of us, we need to stop doing that, and we need to focus on other things. I was told my job now is to work on my own ascension and to work on helping my clients and followers and, everybody who watches my videos, to help them get through the ascension without face punching everyone, you know, without wanting to kill everyone. Yeah. And so, because it's really hard. A lot of people are really impatient right now. And you can see what's going on in the world right now. It's just chaotic. It's really crazy. So, you know, so two things I want to say is, first of all, you guys, your current mission is also really getting the truth out there, you know, and it's part of your kind of your mission statement really for your show as well, you know, and so that is one of your missions right now, is being a truther, is getting, you know, waking people up, getting that out there. But then there are some people who were not supposed to do that. So if anybody ever tells you guys, if you have a psychic person or somebody tell you, oh, you're not allowed to wake people up anymore, you need to go within, go into your heart space and go into your third eye and go to your higher self. And you need to have a conversation and say, is this my part of my purpose? Is this part of my mission? Am I supposed to wake people up? And you need to tap into that, because if you feel a passion for doing that, if you feel very passionate about it, that you just got to get out there and wake people up, then you're probably a Nicholas or an April or a Jay or somebody, you know, you're like that. So that is your mission. So don't listen to people telling you, no, 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 don't do that anymore. Just let all the sheep will die and blah, 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 you know.
Well, there's two sides to that coin.
Yeah.
You have the professional side, right? And then you have your family side. They're two very different birds of a feather altogether.
Right.
So I found for myself that when it comes to your friends and your family, back off.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
I've had to do it.
Exactly. If you want a direct road to destroying relationships, that's going to do it, because all it's going to do is piss people off. In terms of doing it professionally, I think it's a lot different, because people will find you when they want to hear that. When they're looking for certain messages, the universe is going to connect them to you. So it's entirely different than when you're going to your family and you'd be like, why are you getting this?
And they don't know you as an expert, you know what I mean? Meaning your,
meaning
your friends and families, they don't know you as an expert on any
right.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't even know. You're like this kid, or you're like this whatever. They don't look at you like that way, or they already have an way of looking at you or listening to you, which is here they go again. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that, but yeah, you know, people can find there's two families. There's our physical family, and then there's our soul family. And I think when we get understandingly complete with that, understand that we got two families going on here, doesn't mean that we give up one or the other. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. We just have two families is all it is. One does one function for us in our life that's there to catch us if we are in the depths of hell, you know what I mean? Whatever that may be. And then there's our family we're actually growing with, you know what I mean? That's our soul family.
That's soul family. Yeah.
We're meeting our sisters and brothers right now. It's a beautiful thing.
I agree 100%. In fact, I'm the only person out of my husband, my adult kids, all my cousins, my only living aunt and uncle. I'm the only one who's awake. Everybody else, no. And so I have all this opposition. And so I've had to create a soul family. So I have a support system.
Of course.
I've had to do that. And you need every single one of you listening to this. If you're like me, where you're surrounded by a family that is not awake, not on the same, you have to go out on social media or wherever and connect with your soul family, connect with the people who believe the way you do. They see things the way you do. They know the truth. They know about what's really going on this planet. You need to connect with them. You need to reach out to them, because we all need to have support systems.
100%.
Yeah.
That's like critical. I don't know how people do it by themselves. I mean, it's really, 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 it's hard enough when you do have even someone to bounce it off, you know, and it helps tremendously, but to be able to feel like you're alone all by yourself without anybody to help support your thoughts, it's very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys mentioned the Great Awakening at the beginning of every single one of your shows. What is the interpretation to you of the Great Awakening? What do you see it as? What does that mean to you?
It's such a different thing to so many different people, and it probably depends on the day and the guest in that moment. It really does. I mean, that's where I'm starting to that might be my great awakening right there, is that there's just not really any one great awakening. It's just an ongoing thing, and someone's awakened you. It's like everything, you know, you talk to someone, you meet someone like yourself, and boom, they awaken you on something. That's your great awakening. I mean, I think that's such a you know, for me, I'm looking at it now more and more, such a like in the present kind of moment, you know, and
Yeah.
then let's say tomorrow maybe another great awakening. And that's the miracle of what we're doing. And that's what keeps us in the game, is because, you know, just the excitement of, wow, there's never a dull, there are no dull moments here.
No,
There's not
like,
a dull moment. You're constantly knowing, like every moment you can, at any single time, with the energy that we're putting out at any single moment right now, we can be literally witnessing a miracle, and we know that. And that is the coolest thing. That's the coolest thing to be able to. So I think that might be a great
well, like
awakening
I
for
give
me.
you an exactly. When you were on the show, one of the shows, we titled it the Ascension Flu, right? And we
Uh-huh.
talked all about the aches
Right.
and this and that. And it was exactly what I was going through at the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you mean that there's like a diagnosis for what I have
Right.
right now?
Yeah.
So that was like a great awakening, right? So
Yeah.
I think every day is really becoming a great awakening.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You know, because you're saying that, I'm going to go ahead into something controversial about that. So the Ascension Flu is being misdiagnosed as the letter C thing quite a bit, because you know that all of those tests that they are giving are false positive, you know,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, a lot of them, most of them, not all of them, but a good portion of them are false positive. And so people will go to the doctor and they'll say, oh, I'm having headaches every day. Oh, I'm having weird vibrations in my body. Oh, I'm having chills and hot flashes, because that's part of ascending and turning from
Bringing in the
carbon-based life form to a crystalline. You're going to have hot flashes. And so they're having ringing in their ears all the time. They're starting to see weird, because they're starting to see energy. So they'll like look at the tree and they'll see like a glow around the tree, and they think there's something wrong with their eyes. And it's because, like the Celestine Prophecy movie, you know, and book, they're starting to see the actual energy of everything, of all of creation, which I've seen my whole life, but some people have no clue what that is. And you know, they go to the eye doctor and they're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? So these are all, you know, ascension symptoms. But the problem is the allopathic medical industry keeps trying to tell them they have that plague instead, when they don't, because the minute they come in with a weird symptom, they're shoving one of those tests at them. And then the test is giving them a false positive. And then they're even sticking people into the hospital who shouldn't even be in the hospital. And then they're giving them a drug that starts with letter R, which I'm not going to say on here because we'll get shut down. And that drug shuts down all of the organs in your body, and then you die. So they're killing people like crazy right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Which is why it's so important to take control of your life, both mentally, physically, spiritually. And you have to be so aware at all times, aware of what I'm eating, aware of what I'm listening to, aware of where I'm going, aware of my surroundings.
right.
If I had to use one word, it would probably be your awareness. You have to be like super hyper aware at all times.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and the plague thing, it's a real thing. My mother-in-law passed from it. One of my best friends growing up from childhood, her mother passed away with it. A very dear client of mine locally here where I live, her husband just died from it. I mean, it's a real thing. But you need to know if you really have that versus if you don't really have that. And you need to use your discernment. You need to use your spiritual discernment and your mental discernment to figure these things out. You can't just believe everything that the allopaths say to you. You know, don't go in like a blind idiot led to slaughter. Like, you need to listen to your heart and listen to your higher self. And not everybody gives away all their power to the government and to all these organizations and all these 3-letter organizations. Oh, well, if the so-and-so said it, then it must be true. You know, we all give our power away to these guys. Everyone on this earth needs to take back their sovereignty and their freedom and their power, and stop giving it away to all these organizations and these governments, which is govern the mind.
What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys interview a lot of truthers who talk about current events on your show a lot, and you talk about a lot of controversial stuff, like, you know, what may happen in the future. So what is your opinion of the state of the world right now, and how can we get through this? Like, what is some of your advice, or the way you look at everything that's going on, and what is some of your advice for people on how they can get through it all?
So as far as the state of the world, I think the state of the world is the state of the world. It's where it is right now. It's where it's going to be. I don't think next year we're going to look at it. It's going to look any differently, or even 5 years down the road. I think it is what it is. We're just being aware again of where we're at in our surroundings more and more.
Mhm.
So these things are always just going to be there. I think that we take control back of our lives and we look at our own little universe, if you would, or our universe of our soul clusters, our soul family. If we start focusing more on that versus who's going to be in an office, versus who's having a meeting today about something that absolutely is not going to affect our life one way or the other. If we stop drinking that kind of Kool-Aid, we're going to have a much better existence.
Mhm.
Absolutely. The other part of it is really just, again, we're really big advocates of this. And we went out and did, Kimberly, we talked about this to the point of where we actually said, you know what? It took us 10 years and everybody asked us, we never did it. We went to the point of even doing a course on it because people need to know, I don't care who you are, we've done this. There is nothing that's going to heal you better than having an outlet to speak.
Yeah.
There is nothing more important to that. I don't care. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You could try, you can curl up with this and curl up with that and everything like that. But when you're on and you get the ability to be able to share something with someone, and when you're doing this, I mean, look at the luxury and the privilege this is. Because of us having this, we got to meet you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And that is like the coolest thing. I mean,
It's awesome.
not only are you just intensely getting, releasing all those emotional things, but you are meeting people at such a core, deep level.
Mhm.
And I don't think that I don't think
We would never have that
we'd never have that
experience.
opportunity. You would never have that opportunity. So I think that that's what needs to happen if people will start to do things like that. Really,
Mhm.
and listen, and maybe not having this show per se as your thing, but
Mhm.
get on a Zoom call with 3, 4, 5 of your people, whatever, and start getting in the energy, because this is all energy, right?
Mhm.
So if they start doing that, then that can make their universe better. As far as we see it globally, turn off the news. We haven't watched the news since January 6th.
Yeah.
Literally, so we don't even know what's going on. People call us. I'm not kidding you. It happens
Florida's having
once a
hurricane.
week. Someone calls us and tells us what's going on in Florida because we don't know. We don't even know what's going on our own. Because you know what? Who cares? Really, it's too much there to get caught up in that. Worry about your own house.
That's funny because you answered one of my questions. I was going to ask you, why are you such an advocate for people having their own shows? And you've been kind of already saying that throughout the whole thing. Why you advocate for that? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is the best feeling.
It's a life changer. I mean,
Yeah.
I tell you the way we're so passionate about it, we really feel to the point, Kimberly, that when people go through and really start to attempt to do this, they won't recognize who they were 30 days ago.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's the kind of impact it can make in one's life.
Mhm. Well, I mean, when you think about it, even like if you're going through, you're having a crisis in your life, or maybe it's a happy thing, you just want to share it with someone, you call up your girlfriend, and just by letting it out, you automatically feel better. You're releasing, you're opening up your throat chakra. And, and then that of course is going to expand all your heart chakra and everything else. So energetically, it just, it does wonders for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not only that, I mean, taking that aside of it, the amount of knowledge that you gain on a daily basis, or even if you do it a couple times a week, or even just one time a week,
Mhm.
the knowledge that you get from it is invaluable. When I think about how much we've learned, even since we
So
relaunched the
much.
show a
Yeah,
year and a
holy
half
cow.
ago, it's mind-boggling. I mean, it's just extraordinary. And knowledge is power. When you have the knowledge, you can make rational decisions one way or another.
And you'll be surprised, for those starting new, you'd be surprised of how many people are looking and waiting for you to speak your truth. You really would be surprised about that. Like how many people are just really waiting for you to say something. Next thing you know, you got people watching you, they're waiting for you, and they just want to hear what you have to say. This is almost like you want to look at this as a responsibility. All we have is each other's experiences, right?
Yeah.
So this is a responsibility too. You want to look at it. If you have it in you and you feel like, hey, I can get it out there. I know I got something. I'm tapped and tuned into something. Pull up your big boy pants, get out there and get out there to the voice, and like we all do our part, right?
Exactly. It's so interesting. I started making videos and putting them on YouTube and on my website back in 2011. So I'm not new to this game. I've been doing it for a long time, 10 years, of doing it. So I'm an old pro, I guess you can say, a veteran. But I just started interviewing people in recent years. It was not, I didn't have, that skill or whatever. And that's a really important skill. Now, you guys have created an amazing program for that, which is called The Secrets to Broadcasting Riches and Interview Riches, which I think is a fabulous thing. If I would have gone back in time to before I started this whole venture and I had this class available to me, I would have signed up for it, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was flying by the seat of my pants, and that makes me anxious. That's one of those things that makes me anxious. And so if you're somebody who has video anxiety, like you're thinking, I have a lot of clients, by the way, who say this to me all the time. I really want to do like something like this. I want to do what you do, Kimberly. I want to do a video channel. I want to do a, YouTube channel, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And I'm kind of timid, and I have camera phobia or this or that or whatever. And so this kind of a course that you guys have created is really, really amazing for people. So can you talk a little bit about your course and what people can get from that and how it will help them?
Absolutely. It's really a soup to nuts. It's an A to Z. It is, and the tagline means even if you have zero experience. So it is taking someone who has just exactly what you're saying, maybe phobia, camera fear, never been in front of never talked publicly or anything. It's breaking all of that down. And it's the course is really, it's very different. It's not just Jay and I in front of a camera. It's Jay and I, and there's 8 to 11 people that are also part of the course. So we are, when we launched the course, we didn't plan it at all. There was no planning. There were no notes. It was nothing like, what are we going to talk about today? We just literally flipped the camera on and said, we're going to have a course today, and here's the subject that we're going to talk about. And we just rolled through it. So we're answering the questions. It's a lot of interaction. It's a lot of,
exchanges.
Thank you.
And they get to actually see the participants in this. They get to see them grow along their journey.
Real life.
This is a real life raw, just like our show, real life raw experience, because it takes someone, we're role playing with them. We're saying, okay, tell us how you're communicating here. They give us their stuff. Well, we're methodically working through these scenarios that every broadcaster goes through, and I mean every one of them. From where do I go? How am I even going to get my name out there?
What if I don't have a product?
What if I don't have a product?
What do I
sell?
about?
Listen, how do I turn this into a business where I can make money at it? I mean, all those different steps, and we methodically work it through with people, and we do it. We do it, I believe, better than a lot of people, because we've had that business experience, and we started this 10 years ago when we didn't really have much of all of this to work with, you know what I mean? And we didn't know much about this. We did it where we had a website, right? And it would just pop it up there and just kind of let people know that way. But now you got social media is more prevalent. So now you have more and more people going on. The biggest challenge for people now, because so many broadcasters are coming on, is how do you get yourself noticed with all these people coming out every day, right? Like, so what's your competitive edge? That's what we share with people, how to create a competitive edge. So they get noticed there.
And how to make money, to make money. See, there's this big lie going on in the spiritual world that you can't have both. You either are spiritual and you're going to stay broke, because you can't have both, right? It's like voodoo to say, yes, I'm spiritual, but yes, I want to make a lot of money. I don't want to make a little bit of money. I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Well, you need to claim that.
Money is a tool. Money is a tool, and in the hands of good people, it's good, and in the hands of bad people, it's bad. And so there's nothing wrong with wanting money. It's what are you going to do with the money? Are you going to go use the money to go buy a bunch of drugs and snort cocaine? Then it's probably bad. If you're going to use
it's what you do with it. But the reality of it is you need it.
Yeah.
In the world in which we live, we need money. Right now, in the way it is now,
right?
You need money
in the financial system until they go to that QFS thing or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Right. If it ever occurs in our lifetime, and
we don't know if it will. We really don't know.
Create your own QFS is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Really, create your own QFS is what it talks about.
So we teach people how to broadcast and make money broadcasting.
See,
That's the other element.
yeah, and then there's the other part of that, the secrets to interview riches. Now that's for people who are saying, look, I want to promote myself. I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant. You know, I got a show I need to get out there, or whatever that may be. I'm selling a product. This is for them when they get on someone else's show like yours. They got one shot. Okay, they need to know what they're going to say. They need to know how to deliver their message. They need to know how to connect with people, because there's a lot. And believe me, we've seen all styles. And so we know when people come on the air, we know pretty much like how the audience is going to react to them based on how that goes. So you really got one shot. So for those people out there that are looking to say, hey, I got to get there, we created the secrets to interview riches for those people, which gets you prepared for when you're going to go on that opportunity, if you would, you know, to knock it out of the ballpark. You are absolutely prepared. And we do it in a very cool way. So it's like our style, it's like our show. It's the same manner, you know, exchange like our show. We do it. And so
it's not boring.
Very easy to follow. We broke everything down in like 6 to 7 minute segments. So it's not like, you know, parts, and you can go back to those parts as a refresher for when you need them.
And it's really interactive. So
wow. And, you know, the more I hear about this, the more I'm going, damn, I wish I had a time machine and I could go back and take that class before I started, because it would have been so much more comforting and easy for me to do this, because this has been stressful for me to get going with the video channel.
I was
it's very
class
stressful.
10 years ago too. The money people will save too.
Oh my
talk about
gosh.
the money people save when they're out there.
Well, when we first launched the show 10 years ago, it ran probably for 18 months. And at that time, we interviewed a lot. I mean, it was quite a few hundred people in probably a lot more than that. It was like many hundreds in a short period of time.
3-4 months, right?
No, it ran for 18 months.
Oh yeah.
And then the only reason we had to stop the show was because our guests that we had on the show would always call us back and say, you know, well, how are you guys making money? And then for the longest time, we would just tell people how we were doing it. And at the time, we were selling advertisement spots on our website and things like that. And from there, it got so busy that it turned into a consulting business, and we were not able to do both the show and the consulting business because it got so busy.
For almost like 7 years.
Yeah, so we literally had a hiatus of 7 years. So within that time frame, we obviously learned so much, but when we came back into it, we not only wanted people to have their own show, but also be able to prosper and not go through all the crap that we went through. And I know so many people that go through it that are struggling severely to make income from doing what they really love. So
yeah, and you know,
you can have both.
Yeah, because there's ways, you know, when you look at this, because a lot of people,
so many ways.
There's so many great ways to do it. People, you know, we tell people this, look, if you're in the show and you got, again, if you're a business person, you know, you're a consultant, whatever you got, and, you know, you're either making money from your show as an advertisers, or you're selling one of your services. At the end of the day, that's what it is. But if you're not in today's world, in today's climate, Kimberly, making money on your show, if you have something to promote or sell within 30 days, you really need to stop and start over. You need to put the brakes on, because something absolutely is going wrong there. In today's world, in today's climate, someone should be connecting with you. You've got it there. And this is what this will help you really kind of tweak out.
And a lot of people have great messages, but they don't know how to connect the financial dot. And this is where this is bridging the two things. Actually, it's bridging a lot. It's bridging the spiritual component, is bridging the sales component and the marketing component all into one. And that's a lot of the element that people are missing, is the marketing side of it. And this way now you can have both and prosper at the same time.
And we really, really focus a lot on the art of manifestation during this whole course. So we're really teaching people how to, hey, manifest this, draw this in. This is how you do it. This is how you get it, really that art of it also. You know, they get it all, the linear part of life and then the spiritual part, and tie it in together, and they create their thing.
Wow. You know, you struck a chord with me when you're talking about that, because I have been assaulted by so-called spiritual people on social media saying, you have no right to be charging for what you do. You should give it all away for free. Well, here's what I have to say to them. I had a full-time job as a travel agent, and I have a family I take care of. Okay. So I have 2 jobs basically, right? I have to take care of my home, my family, all that. Had a full-time job. my boss, Yeshua, said, I want you to start counseling people. And I looked at him and said, I can't do that. I have a job. I have my family. Where am I going to have the time to do that? And he said, don't worry, we'll take care of that for you. And then I got laid off because of the plague. So then I was able to start counseling people. But now this is my income. So I recently quit counseling. Actually yesterday were my last private counseling, clients. And so now where's my income coming from? Well, I can't just starve and go live in a tent on the street, or I won't be here on YouTube sharing all this information with people. And these people just don't have a brain to think about it. If somebody like me, who all of my income is coming from my classes and my books that I make, $1 on each book, that's it. I don't make very much. I make a few dollars on each of my books. And then I have my classes now, and that's it. If that's where my income's coming from, what am I supposed to do? Go live in a tent because some spiritual person said, oh, you're a horrible sinner because you're
not a spiritual person.
Yeah.
They have it all jackass backwards. That is a big, fat lie.
Yeah.
That has been brought down from the inorganic ones to make us brainwash us to believe.
The inorganic.
That is what they are, inorganic.
That's what you call it.
Yeah, AI.
Yeah.
Inorganic. But I think so.
The AI too, but I'm talking about the reptilians.
Yeah, them.
Yeah,
The Greys.
You know that is not
yeah.
coming from God.
That's all. When God bless you, are suppressing. When anyone is trying to suppress you in any way, shape, or form, that's not coming from a high source.
No.
Because the highest source, God, Jesus, whatever it is that you connect your higher self, whatever you want to call that entity, they want the best for you.
Yeah.
They want you to be in the best health. They want you to be in the best they want you to prosper. They want you to be in the best frame of mind. They want you to live your best life. Anything, whether it's an entity or a human that is suppressing you or telling you the opposite, that's dark.
Not from any light.
That is
at
not
all.
coming from the light. That is coming from the dark.
That absolutely. Okay, so this is a big
which is
thing.
a false light worker.
Kimberly, this is a big thing we teach in the course, which is exactly what you said right there. Because believe me, we get that all. We don't get it much anymore because people know our thing, but we got it in the beginning when we first came out with this part of it. You know what we do when people say that to us?
Ignore it.
Delete.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I tell this to people all the time.
Yeah.
You absolutely, if you know you're coming like yourself, if you know you're coming from a pure place and you're here to get your messenger and you know what it is, you're just governed by the rules of this universe we live in where you got to do this. You need not defend yourself at all.
Right.
There is no reason for you to owe anybody an explanation. So if somebody says, oh, you're spiritual, you shouldn't be, delete block. That
is a quintessential.
Get them out of your life.
False light worker.
Yeah, that's the devil in disguise doing that for you. So we said to everybody, get them out of your life. They don't fit into your plans.
I'm so glad you guys agree with me on the prosperity principle that God wants everybody to prosper. And that's and if you go to any Christian church in the United States of America, the pastors will be preaching that. They preach that God wants everybody to be healthy, happy, whole, prosperous. They don't go in church and tell all the Christians, oh, in order to be a Christian, you have to be poor and broke. They don't tell them that, so why would you tell a light worker or starseed that's out there in the world serving humanity? Why would you tell them that they need to go live in a tent outside and starve to death and die because they're trying to help people? They're here.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, exactly.
They themselves, they're just projecting their own BS on you.
Yeah, mirror. It's a mirror thing.
Yeah, because nobody that was prosperous and doing well for themselves and they feel good and I like myself and I'm happy, nobody in that frame of mind would project that negativity onto you for trying to better your own life. It's misery loves company.
Right.
They'll try to shoot you down, or it could be a million negative reasons of why they're. But the bottom line is they're false light workers in disguise.
Yeah, I agree. And, I've been teaching manifesting to people for probably 11 plus years. And I teach people all the time. I have so many clients that have come to me over the last 11 years that I've been doing this work. They've been coming to me and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so broke. I can't pay the bills. My life, is terrible. I'm financially destitute. What do I do? And then I teach them, how do you manifest the money and that prosperity, that prosperity consciousness. And a lot of it are these wrong beliefs people have that has been passed down generation, like money is the root of all evil. And if you have a lot of money, if you're really wealthy, then you're evil and you're bad. And, there's all these wrong beliefs around money that block people's prosperity because because the God that we worship, which is I am that I am, I call it prime, creator, whatever you want to call it, mother, father, God. That God is 100% unconditional love. And that God wants you and me and all of us to be healthy, to be happy, to have all the money that we need and that we want, all those kind of things. That God isn't God that God's not going to sit
every
there.
aspect, abundance
prosperity.
in every aspect. And not only just like abundance, great abundance. Great abundance. Like if you look at Ganesh, right? That's
I love Ganesh.
Right. Belly represents abundance.
Yeah.
Right. And look at it, and just for the people watching, I want the people watching right now, this is manifestation in progress right now. You're watching manifestation in progress right now. You know what I mean? This is what you do. You talk about it, and you talk about it with a level of energy and passion that just vibrates high. And you can feel this. I mean, the people watch, they can feel what's going on here. You know that. Look, so it's boom. They get that vibe on there, Kimberly, and this is how you do it.
Well, the other thing too, though, people that are broke, stop talking about it. Stop telling everyone oh my God, I can't afford to pay my bills. I'm so broke. If I only
know how you feel.
That's the worst thing you can do because all you're doing is creating more of that.
Yeah, whatever you focus on.
You want a different soul cluster. You don't want a broke soul cluster. You already got a family that's dysfunctional. When you meet a new family, don't get another dysfunctional family. Go to a proper family that's prosperous and really, you know what I mean? It is what it is, right?
Well, wherever you put your mind. Many years ago, right after I had my children, when I was a new mom and my mother wasn't around to help me, I didn't have anybody to help me. It was just, me dealing with being a mom. Kids are not born with an instruction manual. And so I got super anxious, super anxious. I was just horrifically anxious. And there's a pastor named Joyce Meyer who's out of Missouri. And I got a bunch of her programs, and one of them was called where the mind goes, the man follows. Whatever your mind goes to, whatever your mind puts attention on, that is what you attract and create into your life. It's all about this manifesting. We are the creators of our lives. You guys have created a very successful life. You were successful in your financial business. Now you're successful with what you're doing now. I've been successful in everything I've ever done because what you put your focus and attention on is what you create and manifest. So instead of saying, I'm so broke, I'm so broke, I'm so broke. Instead, you say, I am so prosperous. I am so blessed. I am, the universe supports all my needs. You need to reprogram your brain. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy, or a reprogramming of your brain to, instead of speaking out of your mouth. And in the Bible, it says Jesus cursed a fig tree and it shriveled up and died. He didn't really do that. That's a parable explaining that your mouth is even more powerful than your thoughts. So you can literally curse other people to die with your mouth. That's why they called spelling, spelling. It's a spell. Yeah, you're putting a spell. So when you say a word out of your mouth and you articulate it a certain way, you're going to manifest it even more crazy fast than you do in your head even. So if you think about, every thought has a vibrational frequency. Your positive thoughts have a high vibration. Your negative thoughts have a low vibration. Your negative thoughts cause illness in the body, and they attract all the nasty things into your life. Your positive thoughts attract good things into your life and create health and healing. And so what happens is, it's kind of like gratitude. If you walk around, I always tell everybody, the number one manifester is gratitude. And I've known you guys a long time, and I know that you're very grateful for everything that you've ever had. And I know that you practice that gratitude.
Much gratitude. Always.
Yeah, you practice gratitude. And you know what? When you don't even have to think, I'm rich, I'm prosperous, I'm this, I'm that. All you have to do is, I am so grateful that all my needs are met. Just stay in a constant place of gratitude. And what will happen is the universe will rise up and meet your frequency, because what happens is the universe always matches our frequency. So if you're in a low frequency of third density, fear-based frequency of, oh my God, the world's caving in, we're all going to die, we're going to blow up tomorrow. If you do that, then that's what you're going to create in your life. You're going to create tragedy and all the trauma and all these terrible things around you. Your whole life's going to be chaos. But if you stay in a place of constant love and gratitude and appreciation for just everything, the universe will meet that frequency and you will be provided for.
Exactly.
So
to go back to also answer your very first question, when you asked us about what are we doing with our, our health, it's mental.
Yeah.
Which is really the numero uno first thing before anything, before the sun, before this, before that. How do you do it? It's all mental. If you if you focus on your chronological age, then you're going to look and feel like your chronological age. But if you set your mindset to my chronological clock stopped at 25. Since the age of 25, I always said, that's it, I'm done. I'm not aging past 25. I don't care what happens. I'm going to remain in the same physical form for the rest of my life. And so far it's actually holding up. I don't know how long it'll hold up for, but right now it's working. So
yeah, I say 29 and holding because I learned that from my father-in-law, and he was a really youthful person. He's in heaven now, but he always used to say 29 and holding.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like you fight.
It's all mental.
You got to make it.
It's all mental.
You got to make a choice right now in your life, especially in today's time with energies like this. Do you stay the course, or do you fight literally for your life in it, that you want to be able to live this phase of your life that you can just feel the best? It's so important to connect with source right now. And this is really for us what it's about. It's like mind, body, spirit. I mean, we've had some just amazing memories, times when partying and all that stuff like that. But then you make a choice in your life and you say, okay, all right, well, I can continue.
It's fine.
You know what I mean? It's fine. Maybe another good night. I mean, but or I can just go and get, go to the next level with it, or go to another place with it. And now for us, it's just been about, source connection. So whatever we got to do to get there, that becomes the priority in our life. It's like, how do you connect with source? How do you connect with source? How do you stay there? And, it's whatever you do, to get there.
Right. So I have another question for you. So where do you guys see the earth going in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you think or believe or feel is going to be happening or changing around us? Because right now, what we're living in is kind of a dystopian nightmare. If you look at what's happening in Australia and in China and some places like that, it's kind of a dystopian, and even the US, with people getting fired from their jobs for not doing this. It really looks like we're living in a nightmare. So where do you see the USA moving to in the next 3 to 5 years?
You want to take that one, or you want me to take that one?
Well, I mean, yeah, I just, again, the same place where I see the world next year. I think it's going to be, for those who are just waking up or going through the Great Awakening, it's going to be just an awesome period. It's going to be paradise. For those who not, and they continue to not realize that something's here. Okay, so nobody can dispute, I think, that there's energy here that's stronger than probably it has ever felt like, right? So I don't think anybody can dispute that. So either you're going to go on that ride and figure out how to work that, or you're not. You're just not in there. You're just not.
It really goes back to, it's all mental.
Yeah.
Because you could have two people in the same environment but have completely alternate experiences. Well, how the hell is that possible? Because it's how you perceive things. So if person A perceives their life as, I walk out the door every day and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I live in this beautiful environment and everything, things come to me very easily. I live my life with health and gratitude. Then you're going to live that. Everything else around you is really irrelevant because you're focused on creating your own life. And then you have person B who's living in the same environment. They could be living even in the same house as you, that they have a totally different experience because that's how they're perceiving it, completely different. They're perceiving it like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, like Chicken Little. Then they're going to have that experience. So to answer the question, what do I think is the world going to, or the United States or the world's going to be like in 3 to 5 years? That's 100% up. 100% going to be on it, however you perceive it to be.
It's up to you. Make a choice. Up to you. Make a choice, really.
It's not going to have anything to do with who's standing behind a pulpit, or who's standing behind the mallet, or who is the president of the United States, or who is the president of China. It's going to be irrelevant to your own life. And that's really what it boils down to. And when people understand that and really take that on, that it's not about someone else controlling your life and it's about you controlling your life, the perception of the different angles of it is just completely different.
Wow, you know what you just said really has is a similarity to what all the a lot of the spiritual teachers and light workers are talking about now, called the two-world split. I'm sure you've heard that term used before, the two-world split.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
already happened. So we have people who are here, who are in their little 3D world of, you know, oh, I'm going to get this and I got to wear 3 of those face diapers and, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's those people. And then you have the people who know that that's not where we're heading and that we're heading to a better place, who are meditating and juicing and doing, I mean, you have those people like us who are like us. And then you have those other people. And so it's literally split into two
It
things at the
definitely
same
is.
time. Yeah.
Mhm. I think it's probably always been split,
We're
but
just more aware of
it's
it.
so much more
We're more aware of
apparent
it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
agree.
there's always been that. You're right. You're right. It is.
I just-
Well, yeah, if you go even all the way back to the 70s, or if you follow Dolores, have you guys followed Dolores Cannon or read any of her stuff?
Yeah.
So you know that there's the first waivers, which would be my mother's generation, you know, then I'm a second waiver. The third waivers are like probably my children, my future grandchildren, that kind of thing. But the first waivers, they were the first ones to be living here, you know, living kind of off grid and doing like hippie, and they called them hippies basically,
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, or bohemian or this or that. They had names that they would name them, you know, but, or, you know, people who are part of like the psychic community, that kind of thing. You know, so I really believe that there's always been that world and that group of people who knew that there's something greater and something bigger. Like they just knew that this isn't all there is, you know, this isn't it. And then the
Exactly.
people who are stuck in the matrix, basically, they're basically just trapped in the daily matrix, you know, going and punching the clock at their corporate job every day, coming home, hitting the booze because they're so stressed out and they're running away from all their life problems, you know, or, you know, hitting drugs or whatever it is they're doing, or sex addict, or, you know, whatever it is that they're doing, you know, to get away from their stressful life. And then they get up the next morning and do it again and again and again and again. There's all those people, or just the people who are just, you know, they just generally are sitting around expecting the government to do everything for them, hand them you know, everything is, oh, the government knows what's best for me. You know, it's like, no, they don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But if you
Yeah.
think they do, then you're going to live that
Then
world.
guess what? That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have those two groups of people, and then you have the people who know better. You know, we know that this isn't all there is, and that there's this whole spiritual, you know, realm, this whole spiritual thing. So I think this split has actually, like you said, it's been here a while, but we're now really noticing it. Like it's getting more and more noticeable as
Mhm.
the time goes on. It's getting more and more noticeable.
For
So,
sure.
yeah. And more people are coming over to our camp. So more
Yeah.
people are moving over to our camp. So it
Yeah.
used to be, it was a small part of the population that was woo-woo, as they call it. And
Right.
now there's all these millions of people all coming over to that, which I'm so excited about. You know, it makes me happy
Yeah.
because I've already been this way since I was born. Like I've literally, you know, was born knowing the truth about a lot, you know? So I've had to like live with people saying, oh, you're woo-woo, ever since I was like a little girl or a teenager. You know, it's just, yeah, interesting how that works. So a few more questions for you guys before we go today. So you created a new website and program called the Ascended Master Store, which I'm part of now. I'm on there with my courses. So what is that website, and why is that important for all of our viewers to check that out?
so. Let me take that one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's your
All right.
favorite
So-
segment.
I do love it. Well, number one, it's the name Ascended Master Store. It is
Mhm.
appropriately named because the Ascended Masters, we've always somehow people think that, oh, there's maybe a few out there, there's a handful, there's 3 or 4. That's not, I don't think so. You're an Ascended Master. There's so many of people that are ascended masters, they come with divinely inspired gifts. So the name number one is a very appropriate name, especially in today's time. Number two, why it's so important is because it's people right now are searching for things. They are in a desperation. We all are. Like I said, we're searching. We do a show. That's our way of searching there. So people are always searching for things. What we did with Ascended Masters is we broke it down into very simple categories such as sessions, products, books, entertainment, whatever that may be, maybe services for your business. But we did it in a way where we would interview the person, Kimberly, for 5 to 7 minutes on what it is that they do. It's going to save the person that's looking for something and reaching out for help at that current moment. It is going to save them countless hours of time of research trying to figure it themselves, where they can simply watch a video of us or somebody, talking to the Ascended Master, if you would, about what it is their gift is. How they're going to benefit these people, how they can get a hold of them. They'll get that vibe. People make their decisions. They don't always remember what was said, but they do remember exactly how it made them feel. You know what I mean? So if that feels good when you're watching something, you're like, I just love the way Kimberly is, and I want to click on that link and buy her, then they're going to know that. But what we've done is we made it very easy for them not to have to dig through all these hours and hours and hours and then say, okay, well, maybe I'll get back to that because I don't have any more time anymore. 5 to 7 minutes, you're going to know who you're connected with, on whether that be a session, whether it be a product, whether that be a service, whether that be entertainment, whatever that may be. But it's ascendedmasters.store. So it's very, very divinely inspired. It really is. It's one of those things that just is like, boom, people have been asking like, hey, is it an easy centralized place to be able to find people? So it's a one of a kind video directory, that people will know who you are connected with.
Awesome. Well, thank you for inviting me to be part of it. I didn't even have any clue about it until you reached out to me and had a chat with me. And I've been on the website and checked out all the people. You've got I think Salini on there and a whole bunch of wonderful people. And the word Ascended Master, people need to get away from being judgmental about this thing, because honestly, everyone who is awake now is an Ascended Master in training.
Absolutely.
We're all Ascended Masters in training, and we came here. People who are awake now, first of all, are some of the oldest souls in the universe. We've all been around the block for a long time. That's because you have to understand that this planet is like the hardest place to be. It's like being in hell, basically. Okay. It's like, because if you're in other planets, you can follow Elena Danon's channel and you'll learn all about what goes on in other planets, but they're higher density, where everybody lives together in unity consciousness and love and light and health and happiness, and they have really good, amazing lives. Here, everybody pain and suffering and illness and death and destruction and wars and 900,000 kids or something, or 800,000 kids in the US being trafficked and then worldwide they're saying it's like 5 million kids a year or something like that. Yeah. So, this is hell. This is like hell. And so in order to come here to save this planet, like you and I and all of us are here to do now, you had to have been somebody who's been around the block a few times. So realistically, we are all really Ascended Masters. We all have something to share. We all have something we brought here to this planet. And so if anybody goes to Jay and April's Ascended Master store and you sit there and say, well, Kimberly's not an Ascended Master, she's not Lord Buddha, she's not Lord, because all these people have this misconception in their head that the only Ascended Masters are like Katumi and Serapis Bey and Ganesha and, those kind of,
more than 4.
Mary Magdalene.
There's more than 4, right? 5, whatever. There's a lot.
Yeah. They were they are Ascended Masters, but they were also very developed old spiritual beings who came to Earth to try to save Earth as well, just like we have done now. So we are all here now. People need to understand we are the second coming. We are the second coming. Okay. We all hold a fractal of Christ in our heart, every one of us. Okay. We all have Christ and Buddha in our heart space. All right. We have that consciousness. We are the second coming. We are here. Nobody's coming to save us. JFK Jr. is not coming to save us. They keep all these videos that they keep trying to make him into the Christ figure. What a bunch of baloney that is. No, he's not here. Mr. Who's in Mar-a-Lago and, who we love so much and we want him to come back. I'm not saying his name. You all know who he is, the guy who glows golden. He glows golden because he's a fractal of Archangel Uriel. You know, we want him to come back, but he's not here to save us. We're here to save us. We
Right.
have to step up to the plate. We all have to come together as a unified body of Christ. We are the body of Christ and Buddha, all of us, you know, together. We have to get together. That's why they call it the body of Christ, you know, the church congregation. We all have to come together and save our world. It's not, we're waiting for this dude to show up on a red carpet and save us. We're not waiting for this guy to fly in on his magic, whatever, and save it. You know, that's not how it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, somebody's not going to come levitating down out of the sky, you know, or levitating up whatever.
On a white horse.
It's on us.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
It's on us. Step up.
All
and
dressed in
step
white
up. I'm
satin.
telling you, you'll be much better.
Yeah.
You'll be
Yeah,
great.
if you watch Greek mythology, that one guy that rides on, was it Hercules or whoever that rides on Perseus, Ulysses or whoever it is who rides on Perseus, the flying horse, and saves everybody from the six-headed dragon or the six-headed sea monster and all that kind. Yeah, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They've been showing us that stuff in Hollywood, but that's not how it's going to happen. We are the second coming, and we are all ascended masters in training. We are all training to be ascended masters. So
Exactly. Very well said.
yep. So everybody please check out their store. So where is the best place that they can find you, like to get a hold of you, to check out Spiritually Raw? I know you have a channel on YouTube, but it's really more of a pointer to point people to what BitChute and some other places where you are, so you don't get closed down and deplatformed and all that like they're doing to everybody. So you guys can find Spiritually Raw on YouTube to get the links to go watch them on their platform, which is what, spirituallyraw.live or something like that.
So the best place is if they go to spirituallyraw.live, that's all of our content on there. That's completely uncensored, right? So they can watch that uncensored. That's what we have it on there. So it's our own platform, spirituallyraw.live. When they do that, there's going to be, they can scroll down all the way to the bottom because it's a really nice, easy playlist, very super easy to follow whatever their interest is. They can go down to the bottom and it'll say master courses, and that's where they can click and watch samples and testimonials of the broadcasting courses that we spoke about. So that's on, they'll be able to watch all that right there. And also too, on the membership, everybody gets 3 days just to check it out. So they get 3 days free. They can binge watch all they want, see how they like it. And we hope they really do. We got some amazing content on there. So that's the best way to do that. If they want to become on the Ascended Master store, Kimberly, simply just email us. askspirituallyraw.
If they want to become an ascended master.
They want to become on, they want to come on.
If you want to just look, it's
just go and look.
Have fun.
Have fun at it. But they want to have their programs promoted, or they want to have their products. They simply need to email us at askspirituallyraw@gmail.com.
Okay, so I will put all of the links for April and Jay down below in the description. So go to the description and then scroll down to find it. Don't ask me in the comments, because a lot of times I put people's contact info and I still have like 10 or more people that'll say, how do I get a hold of them? And it's like, read the description, it's in there.
That's the best way to do it.
Yes.
So I will put all of your contact info in there, and it's been a pleasure as usual. It's been too long. We should have done this sooner. I'm so grateful for both of you guys.
Likewise.
Really nice of you to have us and to introduce us to your audience. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And you guys all, I got to tell you, I am so grateful for all of the beautiful guests that I've had since I started doing this spiritual growth journeys channel. I've had such amazing guests, and what's interesting is all the people who I meet, like April and Jay and all these other people, they become my lifelong friends. I mean, they'll be my friends until I leave the planet, basically.
Exactly.
We're going to be doing all kinds of, you'll see April and Jay and myself and all these other people that you see on my channel. We'll all be doing projects together for who knows how long, and
absolutely,
as long as it takes to get all you guys up to snuff on, this ascension. We want to get you guys totally on board and totally, how do you want to say, balanced with the whole ascension thing. And when we are able to get everybody on the same sheet of paper, fully, in their 5D bodies and fully upgraded and downloaded and all that, DNA upgraded and all that kind of stuff, then maybe we will all retire and just go have some fun and go golfing or whatever. But until then, we all have a lot of work to do. We're working our butts off, April and Jay and I and all the other people who you see on my channel and on their channel. We're all of us, all the truthers, we are all working our rear ends off to make sure that all of you guys can be healthy and prosperous and happy and make it through this ascension period with your equanimity. So you don't want to go around and face punch everyone and, you know, that's what we're here for. And we're going to keep doing this as long as it takes, right? As long as it takes, you know.
No stopping in sight.
That's
Kimberly.
what we're here for, Kimberly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. And thank you all. Please hit the like button because it makes this video more recognizable to other people. Please subscribe if you like what I do on this channel, and please share it with everybody you know who would be open to this information. And maybe you even want to, if you're somebody who feels like you're here to wake people up, feel free to share my videos with them too. If you feel it will wake them up, that's fine. So thank you all. I am so grateful for everybody who follows this channel. I'm grateful for you both, April and Jay. Thank you. And I'm sure I will see you again soon.
Sure.
All right.